This is a Switch 2, but the games inside suck, so I'm going to make my own game for it in C++. And not only that, but I also reveal the 3 things that make Balatro such a successful game, and how you can make your game so addictive that you start having ethical dilemmas. And also, how to port a game on Switch. And we'll also make some very cool shaders. But first. So, there are 3 things in life I have always wanted. Owning Mario Kart, owning a Switch, and owning an M1A2 SEP V3 battle tank. Now, I'm still waiting for the US Department of Defense to respond to my emails. But when Switch 2 released with Mario Kart World, I couldn't possibly pass on that offer.
Bro, that's like $600. Are you sure you want to pay that money just to play Mario Kart? Oh, you bet I do.
And that's exactly what I did. And the new Mario Kart is very cool. Ignore the haters. But after that, I spent like 2 days trying to find another game to try, but nothing really sparked my interest, except Balatro. I really like simple roguelike games like Balatro, but there aren't many games like that. And I also like the idea of sharing a game with friends on the Switch. I want to make a game to have both of these aspects, and it will be a card game. But it won't just be a Balatro clone. I have something totally different in mind. So, the idea is simple. You have these space teams playing cards with stars. Players take turns placing them down, and score points for the amount of stars connected. And you can see the similarity to Balatro, where you can have various multipliers and combos. And this can work well with multiple players, but also in a single player scenario, where you need to obtain a certain score, and then you can buy upgrades. So, later in the video, I reveal the 3 aspects that made Balatro such a success, and that you can also copy for your game. But first, let's make some cool shaders. My plan is to first make a simple prototype with this concept, get some feedback from friends and also you, and then, depending on the feedback, tweak the game to make it as fun as possible. This means I don't know yet the exact final game mechanics, but what I do know is that it will be a 2D card game. And for a long time, I wanted to make some cool sticker shaders like these ones, and also some cool 2D shaders in general. But how does one make this cool effect? First of all, I'll just render the playing card in 3D. This makes it very easy to get this nice smooth movement that I really like. But more importantly, it gives us a 3D orientation of the card that can be used to make the shine effect. Now, I want to implement this holographic foil. So first thing I'll do is I'll make my card a little darker and with a purple tint. Just this alone will give it a metallic look. Then, I'll add a simple specular light to it. This already makes it look shiny, but with a little help from ChatGPT, we can also easily generate this rainbow pattern that can be applied to what we have so far. Finally, I added these lines that move when you tilt the card. And of course, things don't go as smooth in practice. But I have a little 3-step process that always works when you need to implement visual parts of the game that have to look good. First, take a reference that already looks good, Balatro in my case. Now, try to extract one single feature that looks good there. For example, this nice rainbow effect. The second step is to replicate this effect as best as possible, and you can usually find help online or with ChatGPT. But even if you don't find help, try to see exactly what the effect is doing here. So for example, these colors should move when you tilt the card, so I can just bias them using the view vector and the normal vector. And the third step is to repeat this process of extracting one single feature and implementing it until it looks as good as the original. And by now, you probably also noticed this nice background. It's stolen from Shader Toy, but making a game takes time. I know from experience. My first Steam game took like 3 years. So I want to make a simple working prototype as fast as possible, and if people like it, I will buy some nice art for it and make better shaders. But before I commit to it, I need to know that people like it. And this also applies to you and your business or game. Make a simple prototype first, see if people like it or want to buy it, and then do the proper implementation. So I have some more shaders, but I now want to tell you what makes Balatro so addictive and such a huge indie success. There are 3 aspects. The first one is that it's extremely easy to start playing it. Balatro is basically poker, and everyone knows poker because they play it in schools. But then the second aspect has to do with luck and these numbers going up. Every time you start a new run, depending on what cards you randomly get, you can make various combos that get you higher and higher scores, and people are just obsessed with winning and progress. So if you just condense that concept to something extremely simple, like numbers and some nice sound effects, you create a dopamine machine. People love numbers that go up. This is why casinos are dangerous. Every hand you play, you have a chance to increase those numbers, and our brain just can't stop pressing that button. But Balatro has one more thing that keeps players getting back to it: the jokers. The jokers are the thing that turned Balatro from a simple poker game to the overnight indie game success that Balatro is. Jokers give special rules to the game, and there are a lot of jokers to find. And once the game is over, the next run, you could be getting some new joker you have never seen, and have a totally different experience. You see, Balatro keeps you playing the game to get a bigger score, but also keeps you starting new games to discover new jokers and new ways to play. Back to my game. There are many ways to introduce these addictive behaviors. For example, I can introduce card packs that give you special cards, like planet cards that has special rules, just like the jokers from Balatro. But before I tell you how I can port my game to Switch, there is one more big problem I have to solve. So I want this game to feature local multiplayer, so 4 people can just play this game like a board game on a big screen. There is one problem. If all the players share the same screen, I can't possibly hide their playing cards. So I thought about this, and then I realized, what if I don't hide their cards? You see, there is one thing that makes Nintendo party games so successful. When you play with your friends, there will always be someone way better at the game, and someone that doesn't even know how to play. That isn't really fun and challenging, is it? But Nintendo helps weak players on purpose, by giving them OP power-ups, and also kills top players in the very last second. This isn't fair, but it creates chaos and conflicts between players, and also it gives everyone an equal chance, making the game way more fun. In my game, there will be multiple ways to score points, so if I know what cards the next player has, I can deliberately sabotage him. I will release a free demo soon, so subscribe to not miss that. But how do you publish a game on Switch? Because it's much more difficult than publishing a game on Steam. The first step is to apply and be approved as an official Nintendo developer, and you can apply as an individual, but Nintendo strongly prefers companies. And yes, you can be denied the application. But if I release the game on Steam first and have some success with it, I think I won't have problems here. Next, you must buy a Switch dev kit, which they are extremely secretive about and you are not allowed to show it to anyone. But it's just a normal Switch with extra ports that allow you to test and debug your game. You will also gain access to their software development kit, called NX SDK, that you need in order to port your game from PC to Switch. If you use Unity, you'll get some sort of Unity package to do that for you. In my case, I have to port it myself, but it isn't as hard as it seems. For input and window handling, I have a special way of organizing my project that I talk about in this video, where I split the platform-specific code from the game-specific code, and for rendering, everything is done through my rendering library. All the features it has, including sprites, camera, and text, are all implemented using a single render quad function. So basically, once I figure out how to render a single quad on the Switch, the game is basically ported. Finally, Nintendo also has to approve your game, but that shouldn't really be a problem. I do game dev in C++ on this channel, and I teach all the details that were hard to find on my own. So subscribe if you're interested in that. You watch till the end of the video, and I'm trying to get 100k subs, so it will really help me. Now, check out how I configure my games, so it's easy for me to port to other platforms. See you!